two nations, both singing the same carol in the middle of a war. What came to be known as the Christmas Truce of 1914 was not a singular event. It looked different in different parts of the line. In some places, the soldiers actually met in the middle in what they called no man's land to take photographs, to exchange gifts, to share a laugh, to bury their dead. One account in one place, they even kicked around a soccer ball. But we know that the truce wasn't universal. Hostilities continued in several parts of the line. And we know that it wasn't permanent because the Great War resumed. And we know it continued on for another 4 years. But that day, in certain places, enemies made peace. Now, the top brass on both sides in assessing that situation determined that it was more likely to occur, that type of thing, which they didn't want to have happen, was more likely to occur in areas where the enemies were close to one another. Specifically, they said if they were close enough to hear each other's voices, if they could smell each other's cooking. In fact, the commander of the British Second Corps said that proximity was the greatest threat to the war, to morale, because proximity, getting in close, humanized the enemy. It made you ever mindful that they were not that different, that they also were looking for warmth and building fires and celebrating Christmas and cooking a hot meal, getting in close. I think there's something to that. If you think about it, Jesus told us, he said, you've heard it said to love your neighbor and hate your enemy, but I tell you, love your enemy and pray for them. If you've done that, if you've taken up that practice, you know how hard it is. But you know this too. It's more about you than it is about them. Prayers for them, yes, but what that really does is it humanizes them. It softens me.